They really can't get their story straight. TPUSA producer Blake Neff appeared on the Charlie Kirk show. Blake says that right after Charlie was shot, he and Mikey McCoy both went past the SUV that they both came in on. Blake then claims that he runs for 15 or 20 seconds. He is ahead of Mikey McCoy, but eventually catches up with Mikey. And at that point, that is when Mikey calls Erica Kirk.
I remember even running past, both of us going past the SUV that we came in on, and me thinking, should I get in that car? And then thinking, no, that's a really stupid thing to do. And then I kept going. So I was not with Mikey, or I don't remember being with him. I think I was ahead of him as we left. And then we get out, and I run for, can't have been more than 15 or 20 seconds. And then I realized there hasn't been another shot, so has likely been detained or stopped or something, not in immediate danger. I pause, I look around me, and I see Mikey. And then I think he literally said to me, I might be imagining this, but I think what he literally said was, he was looking around, and then he says, I need to call Erica. And then he takes his phone, and he begins calling Erica.
However, this timeline doesn't really seem to match the New York Times article, which stated that Erica Kirk received a call from Mikey McCoy at 11:23 a.m. local time. That is the exact same time that Charlie Kirk was shot. Blake says that he calls his mother, and then right after that, Mikey McCoy calls his father, Pastor Rob McCoy.
I remember he calls Erica. Around the same time, I pull out my phone and I call my mom just to say, hey, Mom, there's been a shooting. You're going to see it on the news. I'm okay. Pray for me. I've got to go. And I remember that call. And around the time I put that phone away, and then he immediately calls his dad. He calls Rob McCoy.
TPUSA spokesman Andrew Colvett claimed that Mikey McCoy was not on the phone at the same time of the shooting, and that he had his phone in his hand and raised up and plugged both ears.
They're alleging that he was on the phone immediately. He was not. He was taking social videos, which he would send to our group chat, which we would then put on Charlie's social while the event was happening, so you could see like the crowd come in or his interactions. And we were only 2 questions into this event, so he was still getting it out to all the chats he needed to do, which he did at every event. He turns around, and it was so blaringly loud, I'm told. You would know this better than I, but this is what I'm told. It was so blaringly loud, and he was so shell-shocked, he put his fingers in his ear, but his phone was still in his hand.
However, video footage shows Mikey McCoy clearly on his phone within 5 seconds after the shooting. So if Blake claims that they ran for 15 to 20 seconds, they had to funnel out of there, all of this action had to occur before Mikey McCoy called Erica Kirk, before Mikey McCoy called his father, Pastor Rob McCoy, who was Mikey McCoy talking to at the moment that Charlie Kirk got shot?